Hello guys, in this video we will see how to install Velociraptor in an Ubuntu or Debian machine. So first you need access via SSH to the Linux machine. So I will make the whole exercise. So I will remove this part. I will access via SSH to my server. You can use PuTTY or you can use PowerShell to do this. So now I'm inside the Ubuntu machine, and just if you are not root user, you can just press or put the command sudo su minus, hit enter, and if request credentials, put your credentials. Just you need to check that the prompt looks like this with this symbol, and yeah, you will get full privileges. So now we need to download Velociraptor. So we will go to opt/opt, and we will use this folder to deploy our Velociraptor server. And now we need to go to the Velociraptor GitHub repository. And here we just need to, so to get access to this, just put in Google Velociraptor GitHub and select the GitHub Velocidex Velociraptor page. Once here, we need to click here in releases, and now here we have the main package installers, and we just need to download this file. So it's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 file. So just let's make a right click and copy the link address, go to the Ubuntu machine and execute wget and paste the URL. So Velociraptor is downloaded. I will just double check. So yes, if we execute file space Velociraptor v0.6.8 to Linux AMD 64, we will see that is an ELF64 bits. So that means that it's an executable for Linux. So now we just need to add permissions to this file. So chmod user plus x to Velociraptor. And now if we list is an executable file. So we just need to execute this file. Just /Velociraptor, the Velociraptor file, and hit enter. So it's working. We will see some information that says Velociraptor needs a flag and a command and some arguments, and we will see some of the commands available in this binary. So let's start the installation process. So we just need to press to execute Velociraptor, and we need to create the installer for Linux. So we'll just, the first parameter is config, and we will pass, or this is the command config to create the configuration file, and we'll put generate to generate the installer -i to make this in an interactive way. And now we have Velociraptor. Welcome to Velociraptor, and here it asks what operating system is this. Then we will deploy the server functionalities. So in this case it's Linux, so we just need to press enter. The path to the data store directory, so by default it selects opt Velociraptor. If no, we just need to put slash opt slash Velociraptor. Hit enter. And now we have three different options. So the first is a self-signed SSL certificate. The second is an automatically provision of the certificates using Let's Encrypt. For this, you need the port 80 and 4043 to be able to implement this certificate. And also you need a DNS name. And the last option is to install Velociraptor with authentication capabilities using single sign-on. So for this class, we will select the first, that is self-signed SSL, because I assume that you don't have public IP addresses for your Linux boxes. But if it's a server that you will deploy in production, my recommendation is create a DNS registry for this IP address or for this server and install with Let's Encrypt. So now we will use self-signed SSL. And we don't have a public DNS name, so here, instead to use localhost, we will put our IP address. So I just need to go here and just to check what is my IP address. So it's the internal IP address of your Linux box. So is this my IP address? And I will put here my IP address. Hit enter. And now we will select the port for the front end. This is the port that needs to be reachable by the agents. So let's hit enter. And now the port for the administrator portal or the graphical user interface. So it's 8889. Let's hit enter. And now, if we are using Google Domains or Dynamic DNS, we just press N, capital N. And now the users. So here we need to start to create our users. So I will put my user, that is the virus. Enter. Now my password. I will create a password for this machine. And once we finish, if we don't want to add more users, we just need to hit enter. If we want to create more users, we can just put user 2 or the next user and follow the same process. So we will keep this empty and the configuration will start. So now we are just defining, we are creating a installer file. We need to tell to this configuration file, which we will put all the Velociraptor logs. So here's the default option. So it's slash opt Velociraptor logs. So just hit enter. And here it asks about if we want to share some folders. So we will say no, we don't want to share this server with other users. This is to provide like web sharing capabilities and some plugin sharing. Here we will create the configuration file. So we just need to hit enter. So this is the server configuration file. And now the client configuration file, that is client.config.yaml. And that's all. So if I will clean my screen, and if I list the files, we have client.config.yaml and server.config.yaml. Now we can just check both files. So I will use cat or nano, that's on you, or let's start with cat server.config.yaml. So we have the configuration file. So it starts with the version, some metadata from this file, the server URL, so in this case is HTTPS, my IP address and the port 8000. We have the certificate, more information about certificate and some parameters here. And I want to show something here important. So this is the some characteristics like the API. So we have that the API will listen just only in localhost, and the other parameter is this, that is super important, is the user interface. So or port 808089, it will be accessible just from localhost. So if we want to be able to reach the user interface from other machines, like from our network, we just need to change this parameter. So this is my main recommendation, but to get access to this I need to connect SSH and create a tunnel. I will show both options, but yeah, to be practical with you, I will change this parameter. So I will clean my screen and I will use nano or beam. I prefer beam, but maybe you like more nano, so let's use nano. Oops. So we will edit the server.config.yaml, and we need to go to that line to change the user interface port, and here we just need to replace this for 0000. And that's all. So my recommendation is always use the 127.0.01 instead to make this, but sometimes you want to get access directly to the user, to the admin panel. So yeah, that's the way. So let's save this file. So I will just press Ctrl O. I will save this file and Ctrl X to exit nano. So now if we make a cat to server config.yaml, let's grab the key. So we have that the bind address is 0.0.0.0. And the other file is the client. So this file needs to be shared, or needs to be always in the user machines, because contains some parameter for the server. So if we check here, this is the client. So we have this version of the tool, and here is when the client will point to the server, to the port 80,000, and same the certificate and other parameters. Yeah, so I will finish this with the creation of the two installers. So we'll hit again Velociraptor, the binary file, and we will just tell Velociraptor that it will use a configuration file called server.config.yaml, and we will add two more parameters. The first parameter is Debian. Even if we are using Ubuntu, the parameter is Debian because Ubuntu is a distribution facing Debian. And we will pass another parameter called server. So with this, we will create an installation package for our server, for the Debian or Ubuntu server. So we just need to press enter. It will take some seconds, and we have this file called Velociraptor server.deb. So we'll just hit a review here with the file command, and we have that is a Debian binary package. So we will deploy this in a few minutes, and we need to create another file for the client. So we just need to use the same command, the Velociraptor, but instead to pass the server file, we just need to add the client config.yaml, and we can create a Debian client, and in that way we will create a file to install in Linux machines. So I will list the files here, and we have Velociraptor client and Velociraptor server. So in the next video, I will show how to deploy this file. Yeah, the first steps in Velociraptor.